This past spring, a skillet was propping open a shed door 2 farms over from us, rusted the color of an old brick. The family was cleaning out for an estate sale. The boy had already thrown 3 pans just like it onto the scrap wagon. But that one had a small Indian head cast into the bottom. It sold at the auction for a little over $1,100. $1,100 out of a doorstop, with the scrap wagon sitting right there in the lane. I am an Amish farmer. Our people never quit cooking on iron. The pan my wife made breakfast in this morning is older than my grandfather. And for 40 years I have stood at the farm auctions and estate sales in this valley, watching the English sell their grandmothers' kitchens for scrap weight. Cast iron is the one thing I never walk past. Today I am counting down 10 rusty pans sitting in barns and cellars right now. And I will show you how to tell the ordinary ones from the ones that carry real money. Before we start, tell me in the comments where you are watching from. I read every one. And stay with me to number 6. That is the pan that cost me more money than anything on this list, and I lost it by being careful. Let me be straight with you first, the way I would be at the fence. Most old cast iron is a $30 to $80 pan. Out of 100 skillets that cross an auction block, 80 are worth less than a tank of fuel. 10 will land between 100 and 200, and a small handful climb past 1,000. Those are the 10 I am showing you today. Rare is rare, but rare is also sitting in a root cellar somewhere with a mouse nest in it. Now here is why the old pans are different, and nobody bothers to explain this part. Run your thumb inside a brand new skillet. It feels like fine sandpaper. That is how iron comes out of a sand mold. The old foundries ground and machined that cooking surface slick as a window pane. No housewife in 1910 would buy a rough pan. That grinding step cost labor, and one by one the American foundries quit doing it to save a nickel. So a smooth, glassy cooking surface is your first clue. The second clue is weight. Set a modern 12-inch pan beside one from the 1920s. The old one feels almost hollow. It is thinner, lighter, and better. The third clue is on the bottom. Before about 1910, they poured the iron in through a channel called a gate. Then they broke the tab off and filed the scar smooth. That scar is called a gate mark. Remember it? We are coming back to it. 2 quick dating rules, and they are worth the whole video. If a pan says made in USA, it was almost certainly made after 1960. That is when the marking laws came in. And a raised ring circling the outside of the bottom is called a heat ring. A heat ring generally means before about 1940. Those rings locked the pan into the eye of a wood-cook stove so it would not slide. When stoves went modern, the foundries quit spending the iron. One more thing, the size number cast into a pan has nothing to do with inches. It matched the stove eye it sat in, and every company numbered differently. A number 8 is not 8 inches. Now, let us count them down, starting at number 10. The unmarked smooth-bottom skillet. No name, no logo, nothing but maybe a number and a letter. Everybody walks past it because everybody is hunting a name. But Wagner and Griswold both ran unmarked lines on purpose. They sold the branded pans to the department stores, and they sold the same iron with the logo left off to the 5 and dime stores. 2 prices for 1 product. Here is what gives an unmarked Wagner away. The lettering. Wagner never abbreviated anything. It will spell out the words 8-inch skillet in flat block print with no maker name anywhere. At a church rummage sale near us, there was a cardboard box under the folding table. $5 for the whole thing. 4 crusty unmarked skillets. 3 were nothing. The 4th had that typewriter lettering and a mirror smooth inside. $65, and it took 20 minutes. Not a fortune, but it is repeatable. Your checklist. 1, feel inside for machine smoothness. 2, look for spelled out words, never abbreviations. 3, make sure the bottom is not rough and pebbly. Even with no name, you are watching for unbranded Wagner and the Griswold Iron Mountain line. Number 9 is the one almost everybody already has in the house. Early Lodge, from before the rough modern finish. Lodge is the last of the old American foundries still running down in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. Because they are still in business, folks assume every Lodge is a common store shelf pan. Most are. But Lodge did not put their name on their pans until the late 1970s. So the older ones are unmarked. Here is what dates them. The notches. On the older ones, the heat ring is broken by 3 little gaps. Collectors call them 3-notch lodges. They run from the 1940s into the 70s. And Lodge did not add the little helper handle across from the main one until the middle 70s. At a farm auction over in the next county, they ran a whole hay wagon of kitchen iron across the block as one lot. $11 for the load. 2 3-notch Lodges were in it, a number 8 and a number 10. $50 and $90. 11 into 140 is a day I will take every time. Your checklist. 1. Count the notches in the heat ring. 2. No helper handle means before the middle 70s. 3. A size number and a letter or two with no name. Number 8 gets thrown out constantly because the handle looks wrong. Birmingham Stove and Range out of Birmingham, Alabama. Their plain, unmarked pans get mistaken for junk as often as anything I see. They kept casting a heat ring into the 1960s long after everybody else quit. That fools people into dating them wrong in both directions. Here is what names them, the handle. On a Birmingham, there is a sharp raised ridge at the bottom of the handle, and it does not stop at the handle. It runs on into the side of the pan. Nobody else did that. Second, the heat ring is solid all the way around with no notches. That separates it from the Lodge. Third, they usually cast 2 letters on the bottom, the size and the mold code. At an estate clean-out down the valley, a big skillet was nailed under a downspout, catching rainwater, full of leaves. That handle ridge caught my eye from the porch. A number 12, flat bottom, $90. Most Birminghams run 30 to 80. A big clean number 12 or 14 reaches the low hundreds. Watch for Birmingham Stove and Range and their Red Mountain line. Number 7 is where the money starts stepping up. And Wagner Ware from Sydney, Ohio, with a heat ring. Wagner ran from 1891 to about 1959. Their logo went through a parade of versions over the years. That is a gift because you can date a pan just by reading the bottom. You want the words Wagner Ware and Sydney with a letter O beside it. And what separates the good ones is that raised heat ring. Heat ring means before about 1940. No heat ring means later, and later means cheaper. One warning, and it has burned people. There is a fancy Wagner logo out there that says 1891 on it. That is a centennial reissue made in 1991, a modern pan in a costume, worth scrap. An English neighbor let me clean out his grandfather's smokehouse in trade for hauling the rest away. Hanging on a nail in the smoke, black as coal, was a number 10 Wagner Ware Sydney with the heat ring. $185. Understand the honest range, though. A common number 8 Wagner is a $50 to $100 pan. The big sizes and the early heat ring versions push into the low hundreds and above. Your checklist. 1. Heat ring present. 2. Full words in block print. 3. No country of origin marking anywhere. Now, number 6, and I am still sore about it, favorite Pequot ware out of Pequot, Ohio. It is the friendliest logo in all of cast iron. The name is cast in an arc with a curved line under it. The whole thing reads like a smiling face on the bottom of the pan. Favorite pans were cast thin and light, even by the old standards. If a pan feels too light for its size, turn it over. The company was gone by the late 1930s. So there is only so much of it left, and there will never be more. At a flea market up north, on a back table, sat a rust scab skillet with a $15 sticker. I saw the Smile logo. I also saw a line in the rust that I could not read for certain. I got cautious, and I walked away to think on it. A man 3 tables down bought it inside the hour. There was no crack. It was dirt. Favorites sell in the $100 to $300 range, and the large sizes go higher. That is the most expensive $15 I never spent. It is why I carry a rag and a small flashlight to every sale now. Your checklist. 1, the arc and the curved smile line. 2, unusually lightweight for the size. 3, tap it and listen for a clean ring. A quick pause, friend. If you are getting something out of this, tap subscribe. Every week I pull another one of these out of real barns and real auctions, and I would rather you catch the one that matches what is sitting in your own cellar. Number 5. Wapak with the Indian head. Wapak Hollowware was a small foundry in Wapakoneta, Ohio, running from about 1903 into the middle 20s. On some pans, they cast a Native American profile into the bottom. That mark is the whole ball game. The same pan without it is an $80 skillet. With it, $400 or $500. And the large sizes have gone past $1,000. Now hear me carefully. That Indian head has been reproduced. A real one is crisp and finely detailed on a pan with a smooth machined cooking surface. A fake is soft and mushy, and the pan is usually heavy and rough inside. At an estate auction 2 towns over, the preview. Another picker I have known 30 years was 3 people ahead of me in the line. He pulled the Wapak off that table for $12. He waved it at me on the way past, grinning like a mule. He got $360 for it, fair and square. He was simply faster. Your checklist. 1. Crisp detail in the profile. 2. A smooth machined interior. 3. A light casting for its size. Number 4 is the one people finally recognize. Griswold with the small block logo. Griswold ran out of Erie, Pennsylvania from the late 18th. The shape of the logo tells you roughly when the pan was made. The small block logo is the later, everyday one. A number 8 in that logo is a $40 to $100 pan, and that is exactly what makes it useful. It is common enough that you will actually find one. The other Griswold tell, the one that works when the bottom is unreadable, is the handle. Griswold cast a raised ridge up the back of it. I found mine in a barn loft, in a crate of canning jars. Number 8, small block, bottom flat as a table. That one I never sold. It is on our stove right now. My wife has baked cornbread in it for 19 years running. Not everything has to be sold, friend. Your checklist. 1, the ridge up the back of the handle. 2, read the logo style. 3, set it flat and push on the handle. Number 3 is the same company wearing an older coat. Griswold with a large block logo and the word Erie. This is the earlier generation. It is the difference between a $50 pan and a $300 pan on the same piece of iron. The lettering is the entire value. Odd sizes push it further. Most families bought a number 8 or a number 10. So the sizes nobody wanted then are the sizes nobody has now. In a chicken house near us, buried in 40 years of litter, I found a large block Erie number 10 with rust 1/8 of an inch thick. Understand the honest range. Common sizes in this logo run in the low hundreds. The 4-figure Griswolds you hear about are the rare sizes in the odd shape. 1, large block lettering with the word Erie. 2, check for any size other than 8 or 10. 3, spin test the bottom for warp. Number 2 is older than everything we have talked about. Gate-marked pans from the 1800s. Flip the pan over and look for a raised seam or a filed ridge across the bottom. Sometimes it runs clean across, sometimes it is just a stub. That is the scar where the foundry broke off the pour tab. It means the pan was made roughly between 1800 and 1910. Most of them carry no maker name at all. They came out of small local foundries that never marked anything, and that is exactly why they get scrapped. A gate-marked pan can be under $100 for a common skillet. A good large one, or an unusual shape, brings several hundred. At an estate sale by the river, a gate-marked kettle sat on the back step full of dirt and petunias. $12 because the lady wanted the petunias gone anyway. It brought $420. Your checklist. 1, the seam or scar on the bottom. 2, tap the rim and listen for a clean ring, not a thud. 3, look for 3 little legs. The oldest one stood right in the fireplace coals. Now, number 1, the genuine early Erie spider skillet. Before Griswold was Griswold, the Erie foundry cast a small run of skillets with a spider and its web in relief on the bottom. Collectors count the known examples on their fingers. Good ones have brought $8,000 to $10,000 at auction. That is not a typical cast iron number. That is the top of the whole mountain. You can pick barns for a lifetime and never touch one. I have held exactly one at a preview table before an estate auction 20-some years ago, thin as a dinner plate, that web crisp as the day it was poured. The bidding left the room in under a minute, and it went to a fellow on a telephone. I have checked the bottom of every skillet I have picked up since. Your checklist. 1, a raised spider and web, crisp and finely detailed. 2, a gate mark, because a genuine one is nineteenth-century iron. 3, a very thin, very light casting. If you believe you have one, do not scrub it, and do not sell it at a yard sale. Take it to somebody who knows. Now, some honesty about condition, because condition decides everything. A crack kills the value stone dead, not reduces it, kills it. Even a hairline turns a $500 pan into scrap. So hold the pan by the handle and tap the rim. A good pan rings like a bell. A cracked one thuds. Next, warp. Set it upside down on a flat table and push the handle. If it spins like a top, the bottom is bowed and no collector wants it. Deep pitting hurts too. Rust hurts less than people think. But a solid rusted mess still costs you money. Dirt and baked-on grease cost you nothing at all. So do not panic over filth. And here is the big one. Do not ever grind or sand a pan smooth. I watched a man take a grinder to a $200 skillet and turn it into a $40 skillet in 90 seconds. Grinding erases the casting detail, and every collector sees it from across the room. And do not soak a rare pan in harsh cleaner before you get the mark. Read first. Identify, then clean. Never the other way around. Here is what gets me about all of it. Nobody ever teaches anybody these marks. There is no class. There is no pamphlet in the mailbox. So a family cleans out their mother's house and the whole kitchen goes to the scrapyard. The fellow at the scale knows exactly what he is buying at 11 cents a pound. The pickers know. The scrap men know. They count on you not knowing. That is not a conspiracy, friend. It is an information gap. And this video just closed it. 10 pans down, and it comes back to the same thing every time. Value hides in plain sight, not behind glass in a museum. In the pan holding the shed door open, the pan under the downspout, the pan with the petunias in it. So tonight, check the cellar, check the smokehouse, check that shelf in the garage nobody has touched since your grandfather passed. Turn every pan over, look for the smooth bottom, the notches, the heat ring, the gate mark, and read the logo before you read the rust. Then come tell me in the comments what you found. I answer every single one. Your find might be the one I open with next week. And next week, we are going after your grandmother's stoneware. Because there are crocks and jugs sitting in cellars right now that bring more than the furniture ever did. There is a maker's mark to know and a number on the side that changes everything. This is not a lifestyle channel, friend. It is a library.